Good day, everyone. I am here with another interesting speaker. This time, he is someone who has launched an on demand truck service. Now, we've heard about Ubers, etc. He is basically like the Uber of the truck industry. I am introducing Mr. Rajesh Narayanan on our podcast today, who is the business head of Shahan. And we're going to be understanding why Shahan, what are the problems that this particular brand solves for the internet customers. So, without further ado, let's get straight into the conversation. Hi, Rajesh. Welcome
Hi, Diksha.
to our podcast.
Thank you very much. I'm very happy to be here. Thank you very much for accommodating me. Thank
Excellent.
you.
So, I want to get started. How did this idea of Shahan come about?
Well, yeah, no, that's a very interesting question. I'll take you back probably a couple of years when the idea started brewing. We see a lot of gap in the market today in terms of last mile truck transportation. The market has got huge demand. There's a lot of demand for trucks. And if one were to look at how do you take care of from the supply side, it's disorganized. Either you need to own a truck, or you need to lease one, or you need to go to people from the disorganized sector. So we found a gap where we could bring the customers and the suppliers together to ensure that the market gets what it wants. The market gets what it wants at a fair price, which is a transparent service and brings in efficiency into the system. Now, in logistics, efficiency is everything. So that's where the value comes in. That's a bridge that we are trying to bring in between the customer and the supplier.
Okay. Who is your ideal target audience?
Anyone. We could have a customer who's into manufacturing. It could be someone who's into trading. It could be anyone who needs a truck on a regular basis. Or it could be just you or me who needs to transport something which will not fit into our cars. And then I need to get something moved from A to B, and that's where Shahan comes into play. So you just need to download the application. Anyone who downloads the application can use it. Pick a starting point, pick a drop-off point, and that's it. The truck is there for you.
And what are the kind of trucks you have? Like, how many varieties of trucks do you have right now that you're supplying on your app?
That's right. So we have starting with 1-ton trucks. Those are the small,
Yes.
the ones pickup trucks as they call
Correct.
it. Yeah, the 1-ton trucks. You have the 3-ton trucks, which is a little bigger one. We have 3-ton trucks with the longer bodies, with specialized equipment like tail lifts, hydraulic tail lifts. We have delivery vans, and we have 6-ton trucks. So we currently stop there. We are not going beyond the size of 6-ton for a simple reason that we are an on-demand application. We give you a truck when you want it, right? So beyond 6-ton, it goes heavy vehicle category. And many a times there are road restrictions. So it cannot be
Yes.
on demand.
Yes.
So we cater to the on demand section where you need a truck immediately.
So
and
1
we
to 6
provide it.
tons.
1 to 6 ton. And
Nice.
delivery vans.
And delivery ones. Nice. What kind of products are most popularly transported through your trucks?
Wow, that's a wide variety. We have people into trading. Let's say, for example, building material trading.
Sure.
There are people into hardware trading. There are large organizations who are our customers who are into construction. So we transport every kind of material which is used in construction. We have people who are into manufacturing. We have paper bag manufacturers. We have people manufacturing various small products, which is targeted at the end user customer. We have, individual users like you and me. Probably I just find something, which I can get in the used market, and then I just need to transport it home. Or I just buy the plant from the nursery and need to take it home. So the kind of stuff that we are cargo agnostic. We carry anything.
Right.
We provide you the truck. You carry whatever you want in that, which can safely go in the truck, and that's it.
Perfect. And do you also do international stuff?
No, no. Currently, we are within
UAE.
UAE, and
But anywhere within UAE or across all Emirates?
mostly focused in Dubai. But
Okay.
yes, within
You
UAE.
can. You
Yes,
can even cater to.
yes.
Interesting. Now I come to the controversial question,
Sure.
which is in comparison to the regular moving companies or the other logistics companies, why would I choose you? They are also offering me trucks, they're also offering me things. Why you?
Absolutely, that's actually a very, very interesting question. I need to answer this question at multiple levels. One is I'd like to differentiate Shahan from movers and packers and movers.
Okay.
We are not into that business at all.
Okay.
As I mentioned earlier, we provide the trucks.
You use it for whatever purpose.
You use it for whatever purposes.
Okay.
But then when you come to movers and packers, there are a lot of other things which are involved, like packing an item, placing it correctly, taking it to your destination, unpacking it and keeping it there, the whole bunch of things. There are people who offer you logistic support in terms of warehousing and things like that. So I'd like to differentiate us from there completely. Now, here we are looking at providing a support in terms of transporting any item that you want from a location A to a location B. Now, you may want it immediately, or you may want it, let's say, tomorrow morning. So we provide them with the facility to book a truck of your choice at the time that you need it. So it's the market segment that we are addressing, or let me put it this way, the need that we are trying to cater to is slightly different here from movers and packers. If you need a truck, if you're a business owner, and if you need a truck, I would say there are a few options for you. One is you can go and buy a truck, or you can take one on long-term lease. Either way, if you're buying a truck, you're spending money on capital. Your
Absolutely.
capital expenses are there.
Yes.
In a lease, you're agreeing to a long-term contract. Then you have, either way you get your truck, you need to have a driver. You need to hire a driver, you need to have visa, you need to have health benefits, you need to plan for his vacation, right? You need to plan for the downtime of the truck. There is some downtime, there is service which is required for the truck. So you plan for all of that. And then you have days where you have more than what you can handle business. And there are days where your trucks are not even running. It's just sitting there. It's a utilization. Or the third option is to go to the freelancers. Now, they may be available, they may not be available. You may have a language barrier. You may not have a standard pricing. You don't know what to expect. The pricing could vary depending on the time of the day. So there are a lot of challenges whichever way you try to get yourself a truck, right? If you are a individual user, the first two opportunities are not, you're not going to buy a truck for individual use. Neither are you going to get into a long-term lease if you just want to transport a piece of furniture from A to B. The only option if you're an individual is to get yourself a freelancer to do that work for you. Now, you don't know who that person is. Nobody's vetted him for you. You have no idea where is he going. So that's where we come in. We provide you, so if you're a business user, you don't need to get into a long-term contract.
Sure.
You don't need to buy yourself a truck. You don't need to deal with human resources. You don't need to deal with fueling challenges.
Totally.
You don't need to deal with any of them. You need a truck, you just book it, and it comes on demand.
Right.
If you have business today, you book today.
Yes.
You have no commitment for tomorrow. You don't need a truck tomorrow, you don't book it. So no long-term contracts. So utilization is much higher. And from an individual user perspective, he or she just gets to book a truck when they want it. And you're going with a company, with an organization which is reliable. You get to track your truck. Where is it going? At what point is it going to reach the drop point? And the payment. It's transparent, it's online. You don't need to go to the ATM, withdraw cash, have a negotiation. No, nothing. And then whoever is booking gets a 24/7 support. You get to call a call center. And there's somebody who's always there to support you with local knowledge. We're not
Nice.
supporting you from some other place. We are in Dubai. and we support you locally. So that's the, I hope I have clarified the
Covered.
question.
Indeed,
Yeah,
you've
yeah.
clarified this very, very well. Let's talk about one of the points that you mentioned, that whenever we deal with new companies and perhaps even a new driver or freelancer, etc., reliability and timeliness is a big issue. How do you, through Shahan, ensure you're delivering at the right time and perhaps you're showing up and nothing happens to the products in that time? How do you manage this whole ecosystem and monitor it, in fact?
Absolutely, absolutely. That's the most important part in this business: service reliability and customer service. That's the only point that you need to address in this business, right? So now all our drivers are vetted by us. We know who they are. We have trained them. We have walked them through the whole experience of how to deal with the customer. What do you do? How do you deal with the products? Safety training, everything. So all the people who show up wearing the badge of Shahan is vetted by us. We go through that whole process of getting them onboarded, right? The second thing is when you're using the application, you know the person who's coming. You know the truck number. You see the photo of the guy who's coming. You know there's an organization standing behind taking care of that. And if you have any concerns at any point in time, that person, somebody is there to answer. And there's somebody who you can call. They take care of all your concerns live immediately. Having said that, there could be instances where the road conditions could be difficult. There could be traffic. There could be issues on the road. There could be delays, and there are two touch points that we provide. One is the customer himself or herself can see where the truck is at any given point in time, and our call center, our back office, keeps supporting them with it. We keep updating them as to where they are, what should be expected, if there's a delay, how are we going to take care of it. And it could happen in such a way that there could be an accident on the road. The customer need not worry about it. If it happens with our truck, we provide a backup immediately. We transfer the goods from one to the other. So we take care of the whole 9 yards in terms of the customer experience.
Very nice.
And that's what makes the difference to the customer.
Totally, totally, totally. It's so comforting to understand that there's a proper team that's sitting to ensure that we have the right drivers, we have the right people to take care of, perhaps even the right size of trucks and the arrangements inside to ensure that we don't have pilferage, we don't have distortion. I think that especially for trading businesses and transportation, it's really important.
Absolutely. You touched a very important point, Diksha. In fact, talking about the right size of the truck.
Right.
So there are times, let's assume that somebody's starting a business.
Yeah.
And they're not experts in trucking. So we get a lot of questions pre-booking itself as to, what size of truck is required for this product.
Right.
What's the right kind of truck required? So, we help them with that. We help them choosing the right kind of truck. And the other thing is that the application provides an opportunity for the customer to upload what we are carrying. So the driver and the coordinator gets to see it before the trip and accordingly plan to, tie up the goods properly, ensure that proper care is taken, that it's transported in the right way. So, and at the end of the trip, the driver gets to upload all the documents and the photographs after the work is done. So the customer gets to see that it's done and feel comfortable about it.
Wonderful.
So it provides a very transparent platform.
See, I think you've answered my next question, because that was actually about how do you ensure your mobile technology adds to the whole customer experience. So
Absolutely.
I understand that people can upload their documents and so on. Let's just walk through your mobile application now. So when I open the mobile app, how easy is it for me to order a truck? What do I do? What do I see first and what do I see next?
What we need to do is first download the application. And that would probably take about 30 seconds of time, irrespective whether you're on iOS,
Wi-Fi or mobile data or iOS or Android. Correct.
Yeah, maybe 30 to 40 seconds.
Correct.
And once you download and you register, you give your telephone number and your immediate details, you'd get an OTP. And then that OTP enables you to log into the application. So once that's done, it takes you to the booking page, right? You get two choices. One is you can book an instant trip, or you can book a future trip. Instant trip, as the name suggests, is right now. The future trip is I want something for, let's say, tomorrow or day after tomorrow. That's the second option. And then below that, you get to see all the kind of trucks which are currently available, right from 1 ton to 6 ton, as I mentioned. You also get an opportunity to book a truck with a helper. So there are large corporates who probably has large material which is loaded by a mechanized process, by a forklift or a
Indeed.
crane.
Yes,
Or whatever.
yes.
They don't need a helper. But maybe let's say I'm shifting something which is from my small warehouse or my home office or what do I need a helper.
Correct.
So you get to choose to book a truck with a helper
Oh,
or without a
nice.
helper.
Very
So
nice.
those choices are there. And then you book it. And you have to provide them with a pickup location. So anything which is on Google searchable is there on the application.
Very
So
good.
any address which is saved, you get to pick that up, or you can search it on the map, pick up a drop location, and then it'll give you the display of which trucks are available and what's the applicable rates on each of them. And you click on that, it's booked. You have a mode of payment. You get to pay online. You get to pay on credit card. You get to pay on wallet, whatever, whichever which you choose, and then the booking is done. So it immediately tells you your expected time of arrival of the truck, right? It may be a little away, maybe 20 minutes, maybe 30 minutes, maybe 10 minutes. It'll tell you when is it expected. And as the driver reaches the location, you get a notification that the driver has reached. The driver will also call you. And the call is typically connected through a call center,
Okay.
right? So your number, your telephone number is not exposed to the driver, so you keep your privacy. It connects, the call center calls both parties and connects it. That will also provide us opportunity to record any conversation so that we have, safety.
Of
We
course.
provide them with the whole thing. And your goods are picked up,
Yeah.
it's transported to the location B, dropped off, and that's it. And at the end of it, the driver uploads the photographs that it's done, the documents which are relevant, and the trip is over. And so it's as simple as that. So the booking process would take probably not more than 40 seconds. And if you have a regular booking in a regular route, you get an opportunity to save it. You can save your favorite locations, favorite routes, and then you don't even have to repick the location. It just go back to the saved trip and then rebook it.
And do you have any restrictions in terms of how many kilometers of distance can you book at one go
No, not at all. You
Okay.
can book to whatever look within UAE.
within UAE, of
Yes.
course? Now, I know it's a very bizarre question, but we span over 4,000 kilometers,
That's good.
okay, the whole of UAE. At one stretch, how many kilometers are you open to booking for?
The end, see, I mean, even though there are 4,000 kilometers of roads around.
The whole thing, yes.
But then what we've seen maximum, we don't have a restriction, but what we've seen maximum is there are trips originating from, let's say, Sharjah, Sharjah, Ras Al Khaimah to Abu Dhabi. So it could be 200, 300 kilometers at the best is what we've seen, but then we have no restriction in the limit of, it could be that a customer is booking a trip, let's say from Sharjah to somewhere in Dubai and then somewhere to Abu Dhabi
Yes.
and then comes back
Yes.
at the end of the day.
Yes.
So it's not just the straight location from a point
Oh,
A to
return
point.
trip can also be booked.
It can be booked. And you could book multiple stops in between.
Okay.
And you could give instructions saying, I've got 10 items here. 5 of them
Right.
you unload in location B, 3 of them in location C, and 2 of them in location D, and that's it. So it gives you the flexibility for you to choose which way do you want to do it.
Oh, amazing. I think, the application has been really well thought of and I want to know how were you involved in the conceptualization of this whole application, this whole business? What was your involvement and where did you come into picture?
So I came into Dubai to help set up this application. So I was involved right from writing the application, building the software, writing the whole processes which is involved. I mean, software application is one part of it. The processes in which we deal with the drivers, the customers, how are things handled, what's the workflow, the entire thing. It's an important part to the whole business as such. The legal entity, everything, right? We are a part of Shahan Truck on Demand is a part of a larger group. So we need to ensure that all the corporate governance practices, policies are also taken care of. So I was involved in setting up this whole organization right from scratch. And now I help run this organization. So that's my involvement.
How important is customer satisfaction to you, and what are some metrics you have perhaps put into place to measure that your customers are happy?
Yeah, that's the single most important thing for Shahan. We're not really worried about anything else other than customer satisfaction, because that's what we promise and that's what we deliver, right? So at the end of each trip, there is a special. We have a process. There are a group of people who will actually be looking at each trip, trying to identify what went right and what went wrong in each of the trips, right? So the customer gets to give you feedback. And if the feedback is not favorable in any way, there's an immediate call back to the customer in terms of understanding what exactly went through it. So the single most important thing for us in each trip, each day, is customer satisfaction. So we go all the way to understand what exactly happened. There are a lot of learning instances, right? Because the goods that we carry for a customer A is not to be dealt with in the same way as in terms of B.
Sure.
So they are completely different things. There are different requirements. The customer would like to deal it within a certain way.
Does the driver get all those details in advance before he embarks his journey?
Yes, there is a set of details which he is privy to.
Okay.
And then we see the special instructions, and our coordinators are in touch with the driver.
Okay.
And then the drivers see that's also a gap that we bridge. The drivers, as you know, probably are not very familiar with reading and writing English.
Correct.
Or certain languages.
Correct.
They're used to certain languages.
Correct.
So many a times we bridge the gap in terms of translating the customer requirement from a certain language to a language which the drivers understand. So that's where we pitch in, and then so to answer your question, a bunch of information is available with the driver, but then there is a bunch of instructions from the customer. No, it need not be an instruction. There is a learning. I know a specific customer requires us to do a certain kind of work at the time of delivery. We know that, and we know that from experience. Most of our customers, or I wouldn't say most, a large number of our customers are repeat customers. They keep booking with us every day. And so when I know that the customer is booking and I know what he or she wants, and that's taken care of even before it's assigned to a driver. And by the way, it's not assigned to a driver, but it's automated. Whoever is closest to the customer gets assigned.
Gets assigned. Yeah. All the drivers that you have, are they contractual or are they on your payroll? And what are the languages that they are comfortable speaking with?
Right. We do have a bunch of drivers, a large number of drivers who are our own drivers. They're employed by us, the trucks are owned by us, and then we use that to take care of the demand. There are a large number of contracted, or rather, I call them our delivery partners. They work with us, but they go through the same process as each of our drivers go through. And so we handpick them, we ensure that there is quality, and so it's a mix of both our own trucks and partnered trucks. So we have a combination of that. And the languages, many of them talk, or most of them, all of them talk Hindi. A lot of them talk Arabic. Many of them can understand, read, and write English. And they have, so many of them knows a lot of South Indian languages as well. But irrespective of that, whatever the customer wants, when we have a call center or a backup support answering, we have people who can talk various languages, right from Arabic to English to Hindi or whatever they want. So we can deal with every language.
Interesting, interesting. So now I come to my concluding question, and it's this we can go on and on and on and talk about this, but let's talk about we're looking at the UAE logistics market to grow at a rate of 7.9%, up until 2025. And how does Shahan's growth rate compare to the industry's projection? And what are you doing to make sure that you're accommodating new needs, like for instance, transporting cold storage and doing all that stuff? Are you doing anything on those lines in order to work towards that vision to supply to more people?
So we started with our operations in Dubai, and we've expanded. We are in the process of expanding to the rest of UAE as well. So the first part is our dream is to spread to the rest of UAE in the next 12 months' time. And then we are actively looking at other GCC markets as well. So very soon we want to make Shahan a brand which is well known in UAE and in GCC, and that's a way to grow. And that's what our dream is. That's what we're planning for. That's what we're aiming for, and that's what we're working for.
Awesome, very nice. Well, thank you, Rajesh, for coming. I am quite certain that the kind of problems that Shahan is solving for a common customer are huge, and it's something that has generally been overlooked for quite some time. I'm quite certain that there's unprecedented growth lined up for the brand and for their customers. So, for everyone who's watching us, you need to download the app Shahan on your phones, iOS and Android both, and tell us how your experience is. Second is recommend this app to all your friends and peers who want to transport anything that from small to big, whatever cannot fit in your car can go into Shahan. So do that, and if you have any queries, the details of Rajesh Narayanan are provided in the comment section below. You can get in touch with him, ask him whatever you need, and I hope that you found this podcast interesting. We will be back very soon with another interesting, amazing personality giving us more insights into their industry and what they do. Thank you so much for watching, and until I see you guys next time, good luck, stay safe.